I've been to Israel a couple of times. I'm not Jewish, by the way. I just wanted to preface that, okay? It's important that I say that because people seem to take people more seriously if they aren't Jewish but they've been to Israel. I've been there twice. It was nothing like what I'd been told. In response to your thought-provoking question, and I appreciate that you're not trying to be mean, so thank you. Okay, so I don't agree with the extremist settlers and other people in Israel and the West Bank, and it makes Israel look worse, right? The only thing I will say to that is that despite what the media might tell you, they are very much in the minority. And even though what they're doing is absolutely terrible, and everyone that supports Israel, we all just go, for fuck's sake, you know, I still stand by Israel. My country, Australia, has done some dodgy as fuck things, right? It's just interesting to me that anyone that's aligned with Israel, Jewish or whatever, gets attacked for their country. The thing is, right, I don't agree with the settlements, okay? I'm not saying that I do. But thinking about this all critically, some people are forgetting that if people keep harassing and abusing and attacking and even unaliving Jewish people around the world, or Zionists, but we really know that you mean Jew, they're going to go to Israel. They're going to make Aliyah and go to Israel, right? And because Israel is so small already, if they're all going to go to Israel, then they're going to have to build more infrastructure and more housing. Yeah? So that's problematic, right? Where does everyone go? Also, too, in terms of population in the world, right? There's only about 17 million Jewish people. There are 2 billion Muslims. There are 2 billion, I think, Christians. Now, out of that 2 billion Muslims, right, it's the same with the extremist Israelis, extremist Jewish people, right? They're the minority. Yeah? However, by sheer population discrepancy, if there's 2 billion Muslims in the world, right, and the experts say that there is anywhere up to maybe 20% of that population are extremists that will do, attacks and anti-Semitic and all that. That if it is as high as 20%, that's like 400 million people to 17 million, right? So I know that Israel looks like they're the aggressor because they've got their big army, they've got all of this funding, all this. Optically, I get it. But if you look at it in the sheer size of just how small their actual population is in the world, I don't understand how people can say that they're so influential in money and the media and everything else. There are some people that live in the Middle East, not in Israel, but in other parts of the Middle East and other areas, that have more money combined than every single Jewish person on this planet. Just something to think about, just putting it out there. Don't want to have an argument, but I'm just saying, you got to put these things in perspective. And what is lacking a lot of the time is people just see headlines. They just see photos. They don't check the sources. They don't check to see whether it's come from a terrorist organization like Hamas, or whether it's come from Reuters, or whether it's come from, I don't know, BBC, whatever. But all of these media companies, they all have a bias and agenda. It's not just the Murdoch press that has a bias and agenda. In terms of, you asked me what I thought about the occupation of telling people what they can and cannot do. Okay, so prior to the first Intifada, which was in the 80s, people could travel freely from Gaza to Hebron in the West Bank Do you know that? The checkpoints and the border walls were put in because some extremists in the Palestinian side, extremists, were attacking Israelis, really aiming at Jews, right? So they put those things in, right? Any other country would do the same. Yeah. I mean, it's not great to have what you do monitored, absolutely. But you know what? Since October 7, sadly, it's probably a lot worse now because all the trust has been breached, right? People, had Gazans as friends and almost like family members and workers and stuff. And, like, how can that trust ever come back? And so during, the first and second intifadas, sorry if I say that wrong, they had these security measures put in place, and the Iron Dome as well, because they kept getting attacked. Me explaining this to you, I hope, gives you like another way of looking at it as well. Yeah. It's a cosmopolitan place. I saw more people of colour there than I see in Melbourne. I'm not even kidding. There was Arabic, Hebrew and English signage everywhere. If you live in the West Bank or you lived in Gaza, that's very unfortunate. I feel sorry for you. But you've also got to understand that, unfortunately, because the Jewish people and Israel want to protect their people, and they said never again after the Holocaust, they actually meant that. They actually meant never again. They just want to keep their citizens safe. And it's self-preservation, and it might seem selfish, and yes, it is. But tell me honestly, what would you do if it was you?